Independence Day in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and no better sign of freedom than that statue right there with Miller Park. Roof is open, beautiful day, and the Baltimore Orioles are here. The Brewers and the Orioles, game 2 of this 3-game series, and what a great moment before the game. Now the Brewers during batting practice wore these jerseys during their early work. You notice the names on the back. Those names belong to 25 members of the Honor Flight. These are World War II, Korean War, and Vietnam War veterans that received the jerseys right off the backs of the players prior to this game here today. What a great moment. And we welcome you to our telecast today on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder. Jerry Augustine is our reporter today. And Rock, this is one of those special days. It's one of those markers in Major League Baseball on the schedule. And the Brewers are in first place right now. But it's one of those special days to think back and use this spotlight and use this platform to shine a significant light on some of those who are real heroes.
And that's the reason why we celebrate a birthday for the United States of America. One of the greatest pre-game ceremonies we ever had here at Miller Park, honoring those guys, those World War II, as you mentioned, all those military heroes, and those are the true heroes in Milwaukee here today and all around the country. So a great way to kick off 4th of July.
Well, and if there's a guy who symbols the fun of the Brewers more, it's Orlando Arcia. We're going to talk about him when we continue here as we get you ready for first pitch. It's the Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles on the 4th of July from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Stay with us, everybody. Glad to have you today. Happy 4th. Our country's Independence Day. It's a holiday we get to enjoy with loved ones by tailgating during the day, and watching fireworks shine in the sky at night. But with all the fun, we will never forget the real meaning of this day. The men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice to bring us our freedom, and those who continue to fight each day to ensure our independence. And with that freedom, we are able to play and watch the game that we love. Today, we honor our nation's birth by playing America's pastime. And couldn't ask for better weather today on the 4th of July in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We're ready for baseball this afternoon. It's the Brewers and the Baltimore Orioles, game 2 of this 3-game series. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Jerry Augustine, our reporter. Today's game being produced by Brent Reland and directed by Renardo Lowe. Potawatomi batting order for the O's: Seth Smith, Manny Machado, and Jonathan Scope, the All-Star. In the middle goes Jones, Trumbo, and Mancini. Joseph, Giannis, and Jimenez will round out the starting 9. That will match up against Jimmy Nelson, who is raring to go on this 4th of July. And Nelson's first pitch is on the way, and away we go from Miller Park.
Yeah, Jimmy's in the midst of a pretty good stretch. Had a good month of June, 3-1, a 288 earned run average in 6 June starts. Picked up a win his last time out at Cincinnati.
Well, everybody across Major League Baseball throughout the weekend and through today's game, the 4th of July game, wearing the Stars and Stripes uniforms. Brewers are decked out in their home whites with the Stars and Stripes accents. There you see the Orioles gear and their manager Buck Showalter. It's a great look. And a swing and a miss by Smith. 1-2 the count. I echo what Rock said in the open. That was one of the greatest ceremonies we've had prior to a game here at Miller Park, and certainly my time here in 11 years. It was a thrill to see some of these real war heroes down on the field, and the Brewers exchanging the jerseys prior to the game today. We are honored to have members of the Honor Flight, the Stars and Stripes Honor Flight, with us today. And a beautiful feature in our Brewers Live pregame show on Joe Dimler, who fronted the cover of Life magazine at one point in his life. And what a great story. I invite everybody to share that story with anyone you know today. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count, and Smith pulls one foul.
Yeah, story of perseverance and faith. That's the only thing that got him through it. A war prisoner, and hardly had anything to eat. He was 70 pounds at one point and able to recover. Tough folks, heroes, and we owe them a great debt.
So fun to talk to those guys before the game as well, and having a good chat. And they're still in good spirits and busting on us a little bit. A lot of guys told me you're a lot shorter than you look on television, and of course they had some good ribbing for you as well, Rock. Good-natured fun for both
some
of us.
head-size shots, stuff like that. Kind of the same thing. Your head looks a little bit bigger on television, so that was a compliment, actually.
That's awesome. 1-2 the count. Nelson delivers, and a swing and a miss. And this ball game begins with a strikeout for Jimmy Nelson.
Well, let's check out the Brewers defense for this afternoon on this Independence Day, brought to you by Menards. No Ryan Braun today. It's Perez, Broxton, Santana in the outfield. You got Shaw Arce on the left, VR Thames on the right, Stephen Vogt behind home plate, and Orlando Arce really making a name for himself, not just here in Milwaukee, but all around baseball.
Now the lefties are back in there. Vogt gets the call today, along with Travis Shaw, Eric Thames. The switch hitter VR will hit off the left side. You will notice no Eric Sogard today, even with a right-hander on the mound, and Ubaldo Jimenez for the Orioles. Sogard is dealing with an ankle injury, not thought to be serious, but could use a day or two, and he'll be back in the mix at some point soon, Craig Counsell said, and he is available to pinch hit this afternoon.
Yeah, everybody gets to play quite a bit for this Brewers ball club. So you have a guy that's a little bit banged up. And you got Jonathan VR over there at second base.
Manny Machado, number 2 hitter for the Orioles, out in front of one, and a high pop up right up the pipe. And coming down right around the home plate area. Vogt makes a play. Machado is retired. And 2 men are out.
Yep, doing it the old-fashioned way. He goes, turns around, sees the baseball, gets rid of the mask, and one-hands it. Good to see Travis Shaw back in the lineup. He got hit by a pitch yesterday, had to leave. So apparently he's okay today.
The Brewers very fortunate to have Shaw back in there. I talked to Travis before the game, and he said had it been a couple of inches lower on that wrist, which is right below the pinky on the inside, down below the palm, he said it probably would have cracked a bone in there, but it hit him more on the meat of the wrist, and he was taken out for precautionary reasons yesterday. The Brewers had a big lead in the game when he was lifted. And Travis said, I would have stayed in had the game been a little tighter, but because I left early and was able to get some treatment on it quickly, it kept the swelling down, and he was able to get back in the starting lineup today with the right-hander Jimenez on the mound for Baltimore. Big breaking ball from Jimmy Nelson on Jonathan Schoop.
Yeah, it's been the slider and curveball. That's a slider that time, and he's got good break on it today. Well, Jimmy's on a roll. Last 11 starts, 5-2, 263 earned run average.
Ooh, that one didn't miss by much. 2-2 the count. Nelson facing the Orioles lone all-star Jonathan Schoop, first-time all-star. He'll be headed to Miami. Brewers all-star is Corey Knebel, the closer, also a first-time all-star. 2-2 pitch, and down he goes. Nelson off to a great start on this 4th of July. 3 up, 3 down with a couple of Ks. Now the Brewers coming to bat. Wisconsin presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Roof is open. Glorious Tuesday afternoon on the 4th of July. Here's how the Brewers will line them up today. Courtesy of Potawatomi. VR, Thames, and Santana at the top. Council has Shaw, Perez, and Vogt in the middle of his order, with Broxton, Arcia, and Jimmy Nelson rounding out the starting 9. Ubaldo Jimenez is on the mound for Baltimore today, and Rocky is coming off a gem. His last time out, 8 shutout innings against the Blue Jays.
Yeah, and with 8 strikeouts. I mean, you remember back in 2010, Ubaldo Jimenez was a 19-game winner. Looked like he was going to have a tremendous career, but you know, has come on somewhat lean times. You see his numbers this year: 3-3, 648 earned run average, making start number 7 against the Brewers. Hasn't made a start against Milwaukee since 2011.
That was a year after he threw a no-hitter in the major leagues for the Colorado Rockies. It was the first no-hitter in Rockies history by a Colorado player. Did that in Atlanta. Jonathan VR back in the leadoff spot. Sogard's out with bit of an ankle injury, out of the starting lineup, I should say. VR coming back from the back injury, been getting regular playing time. The Brewers won yesterday by a final of 8-1. They scored 7 of those runs in the first 2 innings. That is a swinging strike, says third base umpire Gary Cederstrom, and VR is rung up.
Yep, high fastball. Yeah, Jimenez used to get it up there at about 95, 96. As we check out the Orioles defense, brought to you by Menards. You got Smith, Jones, Trumbo in the outfield. Machado at third. He's a highlight reel over there at third base. Mancini at first. Up the middle, Giannis and Scope. And Joseph behind home plate.
Here's Eric Dames. Eric back in the starting lineup. He was out of the lineup yesterday. Matter of fact, had the full day off yesterday. Brewers jumped out early and then won the game 8-1. Cruised to the finish line behind Brent Suter, who went 6 strong innings, did not allow an earned run in yesterday's game. Jared Hughes and Michael Blazek closed it out of the Milwaukee bullpen.
Yeah, 1 walk, 8 punch outs for Suter. Yeah, what a performance for him in an emergency start, or kind of a spot start. Looks like he's going to get another one.
Yeah, next up for Suter will be a matchup with the New York Yankees at Yankee Stadium. There's Brent Suter filling in for Chase Anderson yesterday. Chase currently 4th in the National League in ERA. That's a big loss for the Brewers, but Suter was up for the task. Strike 2 on Thames. And a full count now. Eric has his mother and his uncle in town for the 4th of July weekend and week. And it's ball 4. 1 out walk issued by Jimenez. Now, no Ryan Braun in the starting lineup today, as Rock mentioned. Just a day off for Braun. Talking to Craig Counsell before the game, just a maintenance day, and there's going to be a regular occurrence with Ryan Braun. Every 5th or 6th day or so, he's going to get a day off as he comes back from that calf injury. Meanwhile, Santana takes over the 3 spot in the batting order, and he's having a terrific homestand thus far. He's been swinging the bat very well.
Yeah, 6 for 12 so far here at Miller Park in the first 4 games of this homestand. Seeing the baseball well, driving it back through the middle.
Fly ball into shallow right. That's a long run for Trumbo, and he'll make a basket catch for the 2nd out. Good play by Trumbo. Remember, the Orioles are without the designated hitter in this interleague matchup in a National League park. So Buck Showalter having to maneuver his roster a little bit.
So you have Trumbo playing relatively deep in the outfield. All he has to do is go over in a little bit. Catches that one, just inside that right field line.
Trumbo, Seth Smith, Trey Mancini. Bit of a revolving door in the designated hitter role for the Orioles. Baltimore's without their big slugging first baseman Chris Davis. And of course, J.J. Hardy is on the DL as well with a broken wrist. The former Brewer. We're going to have a visit with J.J. Hardy for tomorrow's Brewers Live pregame. Shaw pops this one up. Back out is Machado, waving off his left fielder, and he's got it to end the inning. And we are off and running on the 4th of July in Milwaukee. No score, Brewers, Orioles.
Been on a very good roll, particularly month of June, 3-1 in 6 starts. And one of the reasons when he gets ahead in the count is able to get the high fastball by these hitters. You can see he's getting the plate, but it's up. A lot of these pitches on the outer edges of the strike zone. You don't see a whole lot going in the middle of that box, and that's the key for success for any pitcher, particularly a guy that can throw in the mid-90s. And the curveball and changeup, or I should say curveball and slider, have been good pitches for him as well. So he's pitching as well as he's ever pitched as a Brewer.
2 strikeouts in the first inning for Jimmy Nelson. He'll face Adam Jones to start the inning, and a swing and a miss. Adam Jones, 5 times an All-Star, but has not made the All-Star team the last 2 years. Took the collar yesterday. It was a rough day offensively for the Orioles, scoring just 1 run on 6 hits. And when you get down early like they did to the Brewers, it's tough on an offense to mount any kind of activity. The 1 run that scored came in the 3rd inning. It was an unearned run against Brent Suter. Breaking ball pulled. That's fair. Went right over the bag. Going to bounce off the sidewall. Jones is thinking about 2, and it's mishandled by Perez. And that'll be a double for Adam Jones. A leadoff double for the Orioles cleanup hitter.
Yeah, pitch down, but right down the middle of the plate, and Jones able to get it. It's a slider. You can see where it ends up, right down the middle. And Jones able to just get it inside that 3rd baseline for a leadoff double.
You heard Jerry Augustine in Brewers Live pregame talk about the command for Nelson, and that's at the heart of any pitcher's success. Jimmy can actually work around mislocation every now and then because of his stuff. See, Craig Counsell's out with the 3rd base umpire, Gary Cederstrom. Now, there's 2 kind of plays on a ball down a line, the one that's reviewable and the one that is not, and this would fall under the category of one that is not because it was over the base, came in front of the umpire.
Yep, in front of the umpire, not reviewable. It doesn't have to bounce in fair territory beyond the bag as long as it bounces once in fair territory in front of the bag. So Gary Cederstrom, in his opinion, that was a fair ball.
Cederstrom is the crew chief. So no challenge, no review available in that scenario. Leadoff double. Here is Mark Trumbo. Trumbo had a monster season last season. Has hit 12 homers this year with 40 runs batted in. Did have a hit in yesterday's game. In the air to shallow right. Long run for VR. He's calling, and he dropped it. Now Jones is on his way to 3rd. Here comes the throw, the tag, and Jones is out at 3rd base.
That's a nice play right there by Jonathan VR. Didn't give up on it. Now that was Santana's ball all the way. And it sounded as though, it looked as though VR was calling him off, but I mean, Santana's got to call him off. That's a much easier play for him coming in. And VR with a stronger of the 2 arms, I think. Able to get the tag. He was safe there, but out here.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, as that ball dropped, Brewers actually come out better on the deal than they would have had VR caught the ball. It goes kind of a winding road to get there. Buck Showalter sees a very speedy base runner cut down at 3rd base. And now Trumbo at 1st with 1 away, and that one's on the ground. And how about a double play ball to end the inning? Yes, sir. That turned quickly. Runner at 2nd, nobody out. And in the matter of 2 pitches, the inning is over. 4-6-3 double play. VR to Arcia. Over to Thames.
4th of July in Milwaukee, and on Friday, July 14th, the crew kicks off the 1982 anniversary weekend by giving away a replica jersey of the Igniter, Paul Molitor. All fans at the ballpark for the Brewers' Friday night showdown with the Phillies will get this 1982 Paul Molitor jersey. That's courtesy of Experience Fitness. Go to Brewers.com for tickets.
35th anniversary of that great '82 team, American League champions that passed their way through Baltimore at the end of the season to make it to the postseason. Orioles appearing at Miller Park for the first time in 3 years. Brewers haven't been to Camden Yards since '03. Been a long time since the Brewers were in Baltimore. I'm guessing the Brewers will be in Baltimore, let's see, 2020. The way the scheduling goes, right?
I don't know. I mean, it's been since 2003.
It's going to be a 17-year gap between appearances at Camden Yards. By the way, Camden Yards is 25 years old.
And that's something.
Perez takes a ball down and away. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Ubaldo Jimenez.
You know, interesting scoring decision. You know, they did not give Trumbo a base hit on that. I mean, you know, Villar goes back. He drops the baseball. Trumbo's at first base, and you know Jones then decides to go to third base. I'm not sure why you don't get a base hit on that. They called it a fielder's choice. I don't get it.
A fielder's choice, 4-5 on the putout. I'm with you. That feels like a play A that is out of the ordinary for a second baseman to make. So that would give you the idea it could be a hit. And then Jones is independent of
the hit.
The batted ball, right? His motion to third.
It's not a force.
So on the scoreboard, Jimmy Nelson has allowed 1 hit. That might be one they will take a look at. Official scorer Tim O'Driscoll.
Well, I see an error on the. Oh, no, that's left on base. My mistake. Never mind. Yeah, that's a head scratcher right there. I'm not sure why you don't get a hit on that, but we'll get the answer to that.
Stephen Vogt back in the starting lineup. He's had a memorable homestand in his first homestand as a Milwaukee Brewer. Brewers claimed Vogt off waivers from the Oakland Athletics while they were on the road. His first game was in Cincinnati. Vogt had a 2-homer game in his Miller Park debut. That was against the Miami Marlins last Friday. And what a way to ingratiate yourself with the home fans. He hit a home run on Volquez early. That made it a 1-run game. And then how about a 2-run home run that flipped the score and gave the Brewers the lead in the 7th.
Yeah, both pitches down in the strike zone.
His first ever curtain call, he said.
Hopefully not his last here in Milwaukee.
No, hoping for some big moments. That's one of the reasons the Brewers like the idea of a Stephen Vogt type player. He has performed in the postseason before. He's been a part of 2 different postseasons as a member of the Oakland Athletics. Had some struggles offensively with the A's. That's why they designated him for assignment, put him on waivers in the first place. They were planning on DFAing him had not somebody claimed him. But the Brewers did, hoping for a quick restart. A guy who's been an all-star the last 2 years in the American League.
And every player wants to get off to that kind of start with a new team, particularly in the middle of the season.
Vogt does have some history against Ubaldo Jimenez. 6 at-bats career, has 1 hit, but that hit was a home run. And he sends out into deep right center. Vogt watching this one fly. There it goes! A home run for Stephen Vogt. 2-run shot. 2-0 Brew Crew.
It's a way to get into the good graces of the home crowd. Wow. Have a homestand. That's awesome.
It's my favorite chant in baseball history. We believe in Stephen Vogt. We believe in Stephen Vogt. I love it.
Yep, got a fastball from Jimenez down. That's where he likes it, down in the strike zone, and gave it a ride.
You start hearing the fans. There's Broxton with a bunt. It's a dandy. Jimenez throws. Broxton is safe. Bunt single for the Brewers' speedy center fielder. And a salute to his dugout. That snaps it 0 for 15 for Keon Broxton.
Just a beautiful bunt. He had some good backspin on it, and as soon as it hit the ground, it kind of stopped. Make it perfect or make it foul, and that's what Keon Broxton did right there. Just drops dead right on the line and able to beat it at first base. That wasn't a bad play by Jimenez to make it close.
Well, Broxton is aboard. What a start to the inning. A walk, a two-run homer, and now a bunt single. And here is Orlando Arcia, the hottest Brewer hitter. Matter of fact, he's been the best hitter in Major League Baseball since May 18th. Hitting .367 since the 18th of May. There goes Broxton. Arcia lets him run. Throw to second. Broxton's in there. Stolen base for Keon Broxton. That is number 15.
And not messing around, going on the first pitch. Had a good jump, pretty good throw by Joseph, but Broxton able to beat it. Pretty good lead, decent jump, and just outran it easily in there at second base.
Okay, Broxton goes into second base feet first like a torpedo.
Yeah.
And you can see it in the body language of the middle infielders. They're a little hesitant to put that tag down on Broxton.
And not only that, sometimes guys will drop that leg in there in front of the bag. They're not going to do that when Keon comes in like that.
How about a base hit by Arcia? Broxton turns the corner. He's headed home. Bad throw. In is Broxton. The second. Arcia out at second base. Well, this guy just keeps on hitting. He runs into an out, but he drives in a run. It's 3-0 Milwaukee. As Broxton scores on the single to left field by Arcia.
Yeah, it was a 2-0 pitch. It was a pitch in on him. And he has been very effective and being very productive on pitches in, doing this, pulling it. Wasn't doing that early in the year. Turning on it on a 2-0 count. Watch how closely Broxton turns a corner. And the Orioles execute the defense perfectly and get him at second base. Yeah, Smith hit the cutoff man.
Orlando Arcia is now 10 for 14 on the homestand. 10 hits, 14 at-bats, has an RBI single, and he puts the Brewers up 3-0 on Jimenez here early. Now the Brewers didn't score in the first inning today. They've done that more than any other major league team. They did score 7 in the first 2 innings yesterday. And now they've got 3 on the board here in inning number 2. Crooked numbers for the Brewer offense against this Baltimore starting rotation.
Yeah, they have had a difficult time, the starting rotation for the Orioles. Orioles starters dead last in the American League, a .565 earned run average. And the Brewers taking advantage of it.
Did he go? They will ask. He did, and Nelson strikes out.
And Joseph thought there were 3 outs.
Joseph, the catcher, had said he'd had enough. He's going to head to the dugout. Only 2 outs, though. Second strikeout for Jimenez, and back to the top of the order now, Jonathan Villar. VR comes in with a batting average of .211. Does have 8 home runs this year. Hit 2 of those in a game in Cincinnati. And down he goes on strikes to end the inning. Third K for Jimenez. But how about Stephen Vogt? Yeah, I believe in Stephen Vogt. 2-run home run. Birdie with a quick trip down the slide. Brewers lead 3-0 on the 4th of July. Puts the Brewers on the board on this 4th of July. Brewers add 1 more. By the way, in honor of this 4th of July holiday, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with Homes for Our Troops, building mortgage-free, specially adapted homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans. Learn more about how Homes for Our Troops is rebuilding lives and visit foxsportsupports.com. There's a lot of great military charities to get behind. Just pick one. Just pick anyone that you can and support those charities. That is our greatest message today during our Brewers telecasts.
Yeah, when they come home, they need your help. Families too, for that matter.
Got the Fisher House here right next door to Miller Park. The honor flight, both the Badger honor flight and the Stars and Stripes honor flight, you can participate in. Everybody needs fundraising options, and they're all doing great work.
I'm looking forward to going on that honor flight in November. My wife Kate and I. Jacob Barnes, Brewers reliever, is going in November. It's a great honor to be asked.
A swing and a miss. Jimmy Nelson opens up the 3rd inning with a strikeout of Caleb Joseph, his 3rd. And while we're at it, welcome one of those honor flight recipients, Senior Master Sergeant Osby Sampson Jr. was with the Air Force and the Air Force Reserve. Master Sergeant Sampson had 4 sons, 3 of which also served in the Air Force. And had a fantastic daughter as well, who we call Boss. Alita Mercer.
Yep.
And we're glad to have Master Sergeant Sampson with us today, along with all of the veterans that were at the ballpark before the game, all participants in the honor flight program.
Got an answer to our question about the fielder's choice. You know, Trumbo.
Yeah, the batted ball by Trumbo. So it's off the glove of VR.
Right, go to rule 905. This is what it says.
0-2 pitch, swung on and missed. A strikeout as Giannis goes down swinging, and it's number 4 for Jimmy Nelson.
Outstanding work. It says the official scorer shall not credit a base hit when, and there's a lot of different criteria, but a pitcher, the catcher, or any infielder handles a batted ball and puts a preceding runner out who is attempting to advance 1 base or to return to the original base. So had Santana hit that ball or caught the ball or went off his glove, it would have been a hit.
I see. Jimenez on the first pitch. Vogt will make the play. That's a quick inning for Jimmy Nelson. All right, we got a rule in from Rock. We got David Stearns coming up, the Brewers general manager. A lot to talk about today. Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Toyota, let's go places. Beautiful Miller Park on Independence Day, and the Brewers have an early lead, 3-0, and we're pleased to be joined in the booth now by the Brewer general manager, David Stearns, joins us, and there's a lot to discuss about the International Signing Day, which happened, but there's a bigger topic here. We're in front of a 4th of July crowd at Miller Park. You're a general manager of a Major League Baseball team. What goes through your mind on a day like this?
I've spent a lot of 4th of Julys at baseball stadiums growing up. I used to go out to Shea Stadium all the time on the 4th for fireworks night, and so it's a special day, and we've got a great crowd here. It's a great game so far. So fun day. It's a great day to kind of remember what we're all doing here, and really pay tribute to people who have given an awful lot and celebrate the country.
Eric Thames leads off. Good catch over there by Seth Smith for out number 1. And you were telling us before we went on, I asked David about his military background through his family, and so both of your grandparents served.
Both of my grandparents served. My maternal grandmother also served in the Canadian Army.
Oh, is that right?
Absolutely. Which back then was somewhat unusual. But it's obviously a special part of who we are, and certainly very pleased that we were able to celebrate it here today at Miller Park.
Yeah, you got general material made in you. I think you.
I think general manager is probably the only general that I'll be going to.
So you got to be happy. I mean, again, 4th of July, your team's in first place. Talk about, how you feel like your team has been performing.
Certainly, we're pleased with where we are at this stage of the season. Coming in, we knew we had an athletic team. We knew we had a team with some really quality young talent. And as we've said a lot, we want to see how that group meshed together, how that group grew together. And it's gone very well so far. Anytime it's 4th of July and you're in first place, the season's probably gone pretty well. And we're happy with where we are. We've got a long way to go. We certainly need some of our guys to continue to develop and take those steps forward. But I think we've shown we have staying power. We've shown that we're a resilient team, and I have no question that we're going to be able to continue that.
You have a shortstop that continues to dazzle people. I mean, he surprises people every day. Craig Counsell said today during batting practice, he's a guy that you don't want to take your eyes off when he's on the field. Talk about your shortstop.
I think the strides he's made this year offensively have probably surprised all of us. I think coming into the year, we understood what a special defensive talent Orlando is and is going to continue to be. But we also knew that he needed to make some really large developmental gains to be a productive Major League offensive player, and he's taken those steps, he's taken those challenges, and he's done a lot of work to get there. And obviously what he's done over the past week to 10 days has been pretty impressive.
Hitting almost 300.
Yeah, right. And that's you combine that offensive production with the defensive value that we get on a daily basis, and you're talking about a really important player to this team.
Visiting with David Stearns, Brewers general manager, on this 4th of July as we play here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Shaw at the plate with a runner at first, Santana. One gone in the inning. And you've hit on a number of your players here, David, including the man at the plate, Travis Shaw. How about the latest transaction that you've made, the acquisition of Stephen Vogt? How did that come about? And obviously you're getting great results quickly from Vogt, who's hit a 2-run home run in this game already.
He's been a great guy to add to the team, both in terms of what he's obviously done on the field, and we get to know him a little bit off the field and what he brings to the clubhouse and to our pitching staff, and that catcher-pitcher relationship, which is so important. Really, we weren't necessarily looking to upgrade our catching duo. We were very happy with Jet Bandy and with Manny Pena. But when Steven became available, we did our work and ultimately determined that he was going to be a really nice fit for the team. And I don't know that we could have predicted this level of offensive output within the first week of his being a Brewer, but we're certainly happy to have it.
Now, yesterday, the International Signing Day. So I think a lot of fans, you're talking about kids that are 16, 17 years old, so they are a long way from the major leagues. But can you just give a car wash of why that's important, why under your regime you guys have actually stepped up a little bit of the scouting, signing, and hopefully now development of some of these players? So there are 11 players that you signed, 6 from the Dominican Republic, 5 from Venezuela. What does this mean to the organization?
Well, I think when we look at our major league team, we have a lot of players who at one point were on lists just like that. Players who came out of Latin America, who signed as 16-year-old kids.
Well, Shaw with a base hit. He beats the shift. Santana will hold his ground at second, and Travis Shaw is aboard with his first hit of the day. 2 on with 1 out. Go ahead, David.
And we're not unique in that. You look across baseball, and every team has a very large Latin American presence, and there's tremendous talent coming out of Latin America. Matt Arnold spearheads our operations in Latin America. He, along with Manny Batista, have done a really nice job building that group up over the last year to 18 months, and we're really pleased with this class and what we were able to bring in. I think we brought in a lot of players with potential high upside type talents, projectable players with a great deal of athleticism. And now obviously there's a development process that takes place, and these are 15 and 16-year-old kids, and now it's our job to help them mature and grow into professional and then ultimately Major League Baseball players.
Here's Hernan Perez, native of Venezuela.
Your first-round draft choice has gotten off to a nice start for you.
Justin here has done a really nice job. He's playing right now in the Arizona Summer League. He's throwing regularly on the side. He has not thrown in games yet, but we knew he could hit, and he has done that quite well so far.
Machado gloves it, throws to second. That's the only out the Orioles get, and the second out. Visiting with David Stearns. How are your other draft picks coming along as far as signings go? What's the update there?
There's still a number of guys out there. We have until this Friday, the 7th, for the amateur signing deadline, and we're still working on a number of the guys. I know Todd Johnson and his staff anticipate that we're going to be able to get some more done. We drafted a number of players, both within the top 10 rounds and outside, that had major college commitments and that were high school players that we think ultimately are going to be very good professional players. And now it's really up to the player and his family to determine whether now is the right time to start the professional career, or whether they're better off going to college. But I imagine that over the next couple of days we'll have some additional signings to report, and that'll be great. We'll get them out going to Arizona and to Helena and start their professional careers.
All those plates spinning for the general manager, talking about the future of the Brewers, the international signings, the the draft here, and then the biggest question you get on a daily basis and an hourly basis is, what are you going to do with this team now that you're in contention? And your answer is?
The answer is we're going to continue to follow the plan that we've followed now for the past 12 to 18 months. And that plan means winning at the major league level. That's why we're doing all of this. The goal of everything we do is to win games here at Miller Park, and ultimately bring a World Series to Milwaukee. And when you're in first place on July 4th, we're more than halfway through the season, you have to take that very seriously. And so to the extent that we can add to this team while continuing to progress our plan, which means winning year after year and not having the peaks and valleys, we will continue to do that.
Perez runs, Vogt bounces one to second base, and the All-Star scope will make the play to end the inning. That was a very thorough interview. Thank you. We finally got some time with you. It wasn't a quick inning.
Appreciate it, Peter.
Thank you, David.
Good job. Thanks, David.
Appreciate David Stearns dropping by, the Brewers general manager, getting us some quick hitters on some information in his world. Nelson deals, and he struck him out! Jimmy Nelson goes the distance! Well, that was the best moment of his big league career, Jimmy Nelson, who's already off to a great start today, working on a one-hit shutout through the first three, but that complete game effort against San Diego did not allow an earned run. He struck out 10 in that game. Also had a game against the Dodgers in early June where he went 8 innings and struck out a career best 11. He's coming off a start against Cincinnati where he struck out 11. And if you go back to May 28th, Jimmy Nelson is currently 3rd in strikeouts. That May 28th start against Arizona began the run of what is now 4 double-digit strikeout performances, and he is well on his way today. He has 4 punch-outs as we head to the 4th inning.
He did have a rough month of April. Jimmy Nelson 1-2, 534 earned run average. He did have a game against the Cubs at Wrigley Field, 7 runs and 5 1/3, but he has been able to eat up innings even in his rough outings.
Nelson, in his last 7 starts, ERA of 2.64. Look at the strikeouts to walks. That is a significant number right there. 60 Ks, 9 walks. These are numbers coming into play today. And those 4 double-digit strikeout performances. And he's got another one. That's number 5 as he strikes out Seth Smith.
And it really does all start with the fastball for Nelson. I mean, attacking the strike zone, not messing around, trying to find the corners, although he's been doing a good job finding the edges. And that curveball's back. That's a good pitch, 85 miles an hour down out of the zone. And we showed you a little bit of a highlight reel of some of Jimmy's strikeouts as of late. Not a whole lot in the box, not a whole lot in the strike zone, working around the edges, you know, up, down. inside, outside, and really doing a good job managing, when he has to throw strikes, when he doesn't.
Nelson was named the Brewers pitcher of the month for the month of June. Had a 2.88 ERA in the month of June. Chase Anderson out with an injury. The oblique injury for Anderson is going to have him down for about a month to 6 weeks. So Nelson emerges as the Brewer ace. It was a pretty good 1-2 punch as it was with Anderson and Nelson. Two unknowns when the year began. And both having terrific seasons here in 2017. That's a swing and a miss. Put a fastball right by Manny Machado. It's good to catch up with David Stearns. We appreciate him spending a little time with us. We try to interview the general manager or somebody from the baseball operations department once a homestand to just find out what their world is like and help us understand their world a little better. And he's always great with information, and I love what he had to say after we went off the air, went to commercial, and he is dogmatic about the system that is in place and who they will try to make a run for and who they will not. And to be in this position already without having to bottom out in this rebuild is an important piece. Santana's coming in. Villar's got this one. He'll make the call and the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, basically, if the deal is right, it doesn't cost the organization too much, i.e. mortgaging the future, so to speak. They'll pull the trigger on something. But right now, they're very happy about the way things are going. You can just tell by his demeanor and his attitude, coming in with a smile on his face. I mean, why wouldn't you? I mean, his team, at this point in the season in first place, who would have thought?
He's got a team in first place. He has a minor league system that is desirable for most other organizations, meaning he has trade pieces, and he's got a relatively young ball club as well that is extremely versatile. Brewers are not landlocked hardly in any position, which means they can mix and match the lineup. Craig Counsell has the freedom to mix and match his bullpen a little bit. There isn't that hierarchy necessarily that you have to stick to. And that means everybody in a National League setting is getting a lot of playing time, and everybody is contributing.
You got 12 players, position players, that are always in the game, always playing, getting starts, coming into the game, being productive. Everybody feels like they're part of what's going on here, and that helps down the road. That helps as the season goes on.
1-2 to Scope. He chased one, and it's another strikeout for Jimmy Nelson. Boy, he is dialed in. Jimmy Nelson with 6 punch-outs in the first 4 innings. For the Brew Crew, 4 shutout innings. He's only given up 1 hit, has 6 punch-outs. By the way, you can guarantee your seat for the Bucks' 50th anniversary return to the Mecca game this fall with our 43-game Super Pass. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com/upcoming events for details. Good crowd on hand, a lively crowd at Miller Park on this 4th of July. We welcome all of you watching in all across Wisconsin, all over the world on the @BAT app. Hope you're having a great 4th of July, spending it with family and friends, maybe out on the boat or out in the backyard grilling up some burgers and some dogs.
Did you ask for a better day? 4th of July parades going on, fireworks.
Perfect setting. Got Summerfest tonight down on the waterfront in Lake Michigan. Couldn't be a better setting here in Milwaukee. Nothing like the upper Midwest this time of year, huh?
Perfect.
Ubaldo Jimenez touched up for 3 runs in the 2nd inning as Broxton fouls one away. Speaking of hot dogs, by the way, congratulations to our friend Joey Chestnut. He ate 72 of them and won another hot dog eating contest.
How many minutes was that? 10?
I
10
think
minutes?
so. 72 hot dogs. A swing and a miss. Broxton strikes out to start the inning. I mean, I'm a fan of a hot dog, but I don't think I've eaten 72 in maybe my life.
I don't think I could eat one hot dog if you took the bun, you dumped it in water, and then ate it. I couldn't do that. That's what they do, you know.
I'm not all in on the competitive eating thing, but the inspiration for my dog, Joey Chestnut, has won yet another hot dog eating contest.
How's Chestnut doing?
Fantastic. Enjoying her first 4th of July. On the ground to short. Arcia is out. 2 outs in the inning. You got a big evening plan, Rock? You got a big night on the boat? Maybe some fireworks?
No, none of the above.
Oh.
We're not going to get home to what, 7 o'clock?
Who knows? Just never know in this game. There's no clock.
We have no plans of going down to the lakefront. We were down there a couple of days ago, cruising around. It's great out there.
Enjoying all the fireworks shows around the city, especially out there in Lake Country. Everywhere you look, all in the sky, there's a fireworks show on all the lakes.
A lot of dogs barking. They don't like it.
No, dogs aren't real happy with it, but it's counteracted by the great aroma coming from all the backyards. So you got to give a little to get a little if you're a doggy. Nelson batting with 2 outs. Jimenez dropping down a little sidearm there, a 3/4 delivery. Sometimes pitchers will work on a few things with an opposing pitcher at the plate just to see if he's got a feel for it. That's a more traditional release point, and he strikes out Nelson in the best inning yet for Jimenez. 3 up, 3 down. 5 punch outs for Jimenez. We go to the 5th at Miller Park.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
On July 4th, 1939, Lou Gehrig delivered his farewell speech in front of a sold-out crowd at Yankee Stadium. Nicknamed the Iron Horse for playing 2,130 consecutive games, Lou retired after being diagnosed with ALS. He was just 36 years old.
78th anniversary of one of the hallmark moments on the 4th of July in baseball history. Lou Gehrig's farewell speech. And we all feel, as Lou Gehrig did that day, considered ourselves the luckiest on the face of the earth to be here in this country watching baseball today.
Yep.
Thank you for all who have made it so. Serving our armed forces. Jimmy Nelson facing Adam Jones to start the inning. Had a 20-year career Navy veteran throw out the first pitch today, Rosario Consiglio. Perfectly placed. And we appreciate his contributions as well. Adam Jones doubled in the second inning. It's the only hit that Nelson has allowed so far. Jones pulled it right down the line. Just fair. That one down the right field line. Foul. That base hit by Jones was not without some controversy. It was close. It was right over the bag, according to the third base umpire and crew chief Gary Cederstrom. That is not a reviewable play, even though Craig Counsell went out to ask if it in fact was fair, thinking it was foul. So that's been it against Nelson. There was a little flare in the right. The next batter, Trumbo, went in and out of the glove of VR. Would be scored a hit on most occasions in most circumstances. However, Jones tried to go to third base. VR threw him out at third base. And so that one is a fielder's choice.
Yep, our crack official score, Tim O'Driscoll, right on the official scores guidelines. Now, that's not an area of the rule book that I venture into a whole lot. A little bit different than the actual rules, you know, official scoring decisions.
Bouncing ball foul. But we were wondering why it wasn't scored a hit, and Tim O'Driscoll got us straight on that fact, which we appreciate. Always learning in this game.
Good thing I didn't rip him. I was close. I was getting close.
There he is.
You see that hole in the wall behind him?
Was that your fist?
That was
Oh,
that was somebody who didn't get a hit, I think.
Mark Trumbo. Tim O'Driscoll is one of the great ones.
What do you mean
Legendary high school baseball coach at Arrowhead High School, and retired now. He still helps out with the baseball team. Field is named after him at Arrowhead on the campus.
He's got the rule book right there.
He's a great guy, and he does his job well. 2-2 to Jones. In the air, slicing, long run. Santana's under it in fair territory. Makes a catch for the first out. Well, today, to help commemorate the nation's independence, the Brewers honoring 25 extraordinary World War II, Korean, and Vietnam War veterans who flew to Washington, D.C. this year to visit their memorials through the Stars and Stripes honor flight. During batting practice, each player from the 25-man roster wore a jersey with a veteran's last name on it. Players presented the jerseys to the vets during the pregame ceremony prior to the anthem. It was a special moment here at Miller Park. Trumbo fouled one off his foot. It's got him hobbling a little bit. No balls and a strike on Mark Trumbo. He had the batted ball that was in question, that was in and out of the glove of VR, scored as a fielder's choice. Boy, Nelson has a wicked breaking ball going today.
And he's throwing it for strikes when he has to, and off the plate with 2 strikes, and getting a lot of swings and misses.
He's on top of that mound, ready to fire, just waiting for the hitter to get in the box. 0-2 pitch, and Trumbo into center field, a base hit. He hung that one. Trumbo didn't miss it. Second hit of the ball game. Clean single to center field for Mark Trumbo.
Yeah, left that slider up. And Trumbo able to barrel it up and hit it hard into center field. You didn't see the slider. He got on the side of it. Really didn't get much depth to it. Stayed up in the zone and making that pitch very hittable.
So here is Trey Mancini. Very talented young hitter the Orioles have here in Mancini. 25 years of age. First Oriole ever to hit 5 home runs in his first 10 games. He's got 14 now. 43 runs batted in. He's playing first base pretty much every day now in the absence of Chris Davis. Davis is soon to return from the disabled list. The big Orioles slugger has been out with an oblique injury for about a month. Probably see him right after the All-Star break. Back up the middle and a base hit. Mancini with a single. And now the Orioles are threatening. Remember, this is a power hitting ball club, so when they get men on base, you got to hang on to your hat a little bit.
Yeah, another hanging slider from Jimmy. He's left a couple of them up in the zone in this inning. Trumbo on a 0-2 pitch. That was a 1-1 pitch that Mancini hit hard on the ground into center field. Breaking ball.
Orioles are the best team in the American League with runners in scoring position. As a team, they hit .292. And Nelson's looking for a ground ball here with the catcher Joseph at the plate.
Yep, 0 for 3 yesterday for the Orioles. 0 for 1 today so far.
Joseph's been a big part of that. His overall season batting average at .292. He's hitting .368 with runners in scoring position. That is among league leaders as well. Top 12 in the majors. No balls and a strike on Joseph. 2 on, 1 away. And a line shot caught. Shaw to second, out. Double play. A line drive out. Shaw turns it into an easy double play. Goes 5-4. 1 swing of the bat produces 2 outs. And Nelson and the Brewers are out of the inning. Still 3-0 Brew Crew. Orioles on Independence Day, game 2 of the series, and now our Car Soup scoop from the clubhouse. And there you see Eric Sogard not in the starting lineup today. Rock, Craig Counsell saying he's dealing with a little bit of an ankle problem. It's not something that is going to take him out or put him on the DL. He actually is available to hit today, but you have the luxury with Jonathan Villar back from the DL to have Villar in the lineup playing second base and leading off, and it speaks to the Brewers' depth.
Yeah, so many options for Craig Counsell, no matter what position. Of course, catcher a little bit different. He got 2 guys, but anywhere else on the field, Craig Counsell has a number of different options that he can insert. And if need be, Sogard could have played, but no need. Get him 100%.
1 ball, 1 strike on Villar. He's 0 for 2 today against Jimenez. A couple of strikeouts. Jimenez has 5 strikeouts thus far.
Jimenez used to throw at a mid to upper 90s with the fastball. Now it's about 91, 92 cruising speed. He can reach back and give it a little bit extra once in a while, but he's got a splitter and a slider to go with it.
And a swing and a miss. 3rd strikeout for Villar, and Jimenez has had his number today. Jimenez has got it going now. He has retired 6 in a row. 3 of those 6 have been strikeout victims. And here comes Eric Thames. Well, take you back to Sunday. Thames against the Miami Marlins. Powerball home run number 21 for Eric Thames. Still sits among league leaders in that category. Biggest question was, coming from Korea to Major League Baseball, would he hit for power? And you bet he will. How about one more? Eric Thames launches one. Number 22. And these aren't wall scrapers either, partner.
Right, that worked out nicely. First a video, then you were talking about it, and another bomb. And something else, this Brewers offense.
And he's got a little bit of the flair for the theatrics as well. I like it.
They're getting to know Woody down there pretty good, aren't they?
They already know where he is.
Our cameraman.
Woody drawing that kind of reaction. There he is. There's the man behind all those great images. Nice going, Keith Wood.
There's Augie down there.
Tell you, this is something special here the Brewers are putting together as Eric Thames launches number 22. This is good enough for 3rd in the league now.
Yeah, he got one out over the plate and hooked it. I mean, that was way back and right.
4-0 Brewers. Jimenez comes back with a strikeout. And number 7 for Ubaldo Jimenez. Now we had a chance to visit with one of the original G.I. Joes between innings. Joe Dimler, Wisconsin native from Port Washington, on the cover of Life magazine. He is a real American hero. We talked about him a little early in the broadcast, did a great feature on him, and kudos to Glenn Preston and Craig Kashawn for producing that feature on Joe. And Joe coming up to the booth, and had a chance to visit with him a little bit. Apparently we bought him a meal somewhere because he said thanks for picking up the tab.
Yeah, well,
we're happy to do that. I don't know where that was, but we're happy to do it.
Check your credit card. It's all right. It's the least we can do, right? I mean, just great men and women. I mean, very humble, very appreciative of what the Brewers have been able to do for them today, and that's the least we can do for all of you.
That phrase, that quote that you see on a lot of the backs of the shirts of the honor flight recipients, as Shaw sends one deep to right. That is up, and Shaw sends one out of here. Another home run for the Brewers. This time Travis Shaw, number 18 on the year. And it's 5-0 Milwaukee.
Yeah, pretty close to the same spot where Thames hit his home run. 88 miles an hour, took a little bit off. Actually 87 miles an hour. Maybe that splitter, maybe just kind of a dead fish fastball, and he hooked it out of here into the Orioles bullpen.
The more subdued version of the gauntlet. Oh, that's a little flare from Shaw at the end there. Okay.
Yeah, check it out right here. I mean, takes a little bit off. I think it was the same pitch that he threw to Thames that Eric hit out of the ballpark. This one ends up in the Orioles bullpen. 5-zip Brewers.
Two homers in the inning. Every home run Shaw hits establishes a new career high for him. And considering where he was yesterday and what we thought might happen to Shaw yesterday after he was hit by a pitch, had to be taken out of the game. The fact that he's in the lineup is a bonus today, and now he's homered. Jimenez makes a play, and Perez is retired to end the inning. But the Brewers strike oil here in the 5th twice. First, Eric Thames, number 22 of the season, 3rd most homers in the National League. And then Travis Shaw delivers number 18. And the Brewers are up 5-0 as we go to the 6th. Today and has delivered with a home run, has a homer and a walk in this game. Travis Shaw with a solo shot as well. 2 solo home runs in the 5th. The Brewers lead 5-0. And now Jimmy Nelson back to work. He has worked 5 shutout innings. Orioles had their best chance to score last inning with 2 on and 1 out. And then a line drive to third turned into a double play to end the inning. So Nelson has still only faced 1 over the minimum at this point. Shaw's got it, and the throw's up the line, but Thames puts the tag on as Giannis runs by. And out number 1. Good way to start the 6th for Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, Orioles have only been able to get their leadoff hitter aboard once. That was that 2nd inning leadoff double by Adam Jones. Get that first guy out, makes your job a lot easier.
Pinch hitter coming up for Baltimore. Hyun-Soo Kim will bat for Baltimore. That'll be the end of the line for Ubaldo Jimenez. Jimenez giving up 5 runs, all earned in 5 innings.
Yeah, he was cruising along pretty good, then made a couple of mistakes with what seemed to be off-speed pitches. I mean, under fastball speed, 88 miles an hour, 87. Similar pitches that Thames and Shaw hit out.
In the air, right field, hit well. Santana is back with room. He's got it. Kim retired. 2 gone now for Nelson.
Yeah, for just $29.99 a month, you can get tickets to every Brewers home game the rest of the season. To learn more about the Brewers' new monthly ticket subscription called the Ballpark Pass, visit brewers.com/ballparkpass. Sounds like a pretty good deal.
That makes sense. 2 away for Seth Smith now. Top of the Orioles batting order. Nelson has struck out Smith twice. Jimmy has 6 strikeouts, none since the 4th inning. Smith was not in the starting lineup yesterday, but with the right-hander on the mound. Gets the start in left field today. Interleague baseball. The Orioles have 1 more interleague series remaining after this one. They'll have the Cubs over the weekend. Actually, July 14th through the 16th is that, after the All-Star break, is that series with the Cubs. And then that's it for Buck Showalter's crew. They are 8-4 against National League opponents this year, even after a Brewer win yesterday. There's a shot to center field, but Broxton is right there, and it's a 1-2-3 inning, and it's all going good for Jimmy Nelson. He's faced just 1 over the minimum. Eight to 1, have a 5-0 lead on the 4th of July, leading the Orioles. Time for our unlimited baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Tampa Bay Rays scoring 5 runs to pull ahead of the Cubs in the top of the 4th, so they lead 6-4 in the bottom of the 9th now. Steven Souza Jr. has a couple of hits, including 2 RBIs. Freddie Freeman's coming back, and Rocky's going to play third base, as we were told while we were in Atlanta. He will start at third base tonight against the Astros. That is a big bat for the Braves to get back, and suddenly Atlanta is becoming quite the threat. They're just 8 games back in the National League East.
Yeah, they won 7 of their last 10, and they were really swinging the bats well against the Brewers in Atlanta. They won 3 straight. Got a long way to go to catch the Nats, though.
Nationals in first place at 49-34. Defensive change for the Orioles. Remember, Mark Trumbo fouled that pitch off his foot. I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but the changes are Rickard in right field, and then Hyun-Soo Kim will take over in left. He came into pinch hit last inning. He stays in, and the new pitcher is Tyler Wilson, who deals strike one to Stephen Vogt to start the bottom of the sixth.
Yeah, Wilson just got called up today. First opportunity, down in the minor leagues in Norfolk. 10 games, all starts.
At the plate, presented by Wendy's, Stephen Vogt with a 2-run home run to start the scoring here today for Milwaukee. That came in the second inning. And a strikeout, first batter face for Wilson. Vogt retired. One away in the sixth. Here comes Keon Broxton. Final numbers on Ubaldo Jimenez: 5 innings, 6 hits, 5 runs, all earned. He walked 3 and struck out 7. He went 8 innings of shutout ball and only 2 hits against the Blue Jays his last time out. And that's been the season in a nutshell for Ubaldo Jimenez. He's had moments of greatness. It's been all over the map. He's had a ton of games where he's given up at least 5 earned runs. That was the 5th such game, including a 9 earned run game 2 starts ago.
Yeah, it's either real good, real bad for Jimenez. He struggles on the road, 2-3, 602 earned run average. Yeah, before today, that's going to go up.
Broxton had a bunt single in the second inning, stole a base and scored a run in that 3-run second, and a wave and a miss. Chased a breaking ball. 1-2 the count. Orioles originally had Chris Tillman as the starter tomorrow. He's been one of their more reliable starters in a starting rotation that is dead last in the American League in ERA. Tillman is going on paternity leave, so he will not pitch tomorrow. Jason Aquino, a left-hander called up from AAA Norfolk, will make the start tomorrow night for Baltimore. As a called strike 3. Broxton didn't like the call, but it's a backwards K, and 2 men are out here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, a lot of breaking balls for Tyler Wilson.
Here comes Orlando Arcia. Had a single and an RBI in the second inning. He was thrown out trying to stretch it into a double. He just continues to hit, and it is sustained success as well. Draw the line on that date, May 18th. Man, what a hitter he has been. And we knew the defense was going to be there. He's given you a Gold Glove performance every night defensively. 369 batting average since May 18th. That's the updated batting average for Arcia. That is the best in the majors.
Yeah, just more aggressive at the plate. I mean, really feeling his way through first 6 weeks. Shooting everything to right field. I know it's a broken record, we keep talking about it, but it's amazing the transformation that he's been able to make in a short period of time. There's still going to be ups and downs for Arcia for sure, but right now he's in a groove. He's seen it well, shooting the ball to right field on pitches away, but when he gets a pitch to pull, he is indeed doing that. He wasn't doing that early in the year.
Hot one on the ground, but right to Giannis, and that will retire the side. So that's a good inning, a 1-2-3 inning for Tyler Wilson with a couple of Ks.
players, and I think Jimmy Nelson has got a lot of it right now. You know, amazing when you talk about all 3 of his pitches. It's been very good. Hey, Harvey's Wallbangers reunite for a special 1982 weekend in Miller Park, July 14th through the 16th. That's against the Phillies, and all fans in attendance for the series finale on Sunday will get a collectible American League champion replica ring courtesy of Chevrolet. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com.
That's a great giveaway. The ring, we've had it up here in the booth. I'm surprised it lasted this long. Comes in the case and everything. I'm sure that's a real diamond in there.
Did you think someone would steal it?
I did, actually.
Is that what you're saying? Where's it been?
I don't know. It's in your locker back there. Nobody messes with your locker. I like this ring. 82. Matter of fact, Jerry Augustine is with us, and he was going to bring his 82 ring. I don't know if that still happened or not. Could be the real one, I suppose. That's a bouncer. That's fair, just inside the bag. And that'll be an extra base hit. You know what? Now that I'm looking at this ring, this is the real one. I couldn't tell the difference. This is Augie's real 1982 ring. And here's the replica. It's actually a little bigger. I've never seen this one up close.
I still haven't. You want to show it to me? Can I look at it?
There you go. Take a look.
Just borrow it for a second.
I'll hold the replica.
It's nice.
It is truly a replica.
Now, did Augie entrust you with this ring, or who did he give it to?
Well, he has a microphone, so let's find out. Augie, what's the story behind the ring?
Well, I thought for July 4th we'd have some little fun, and so what I did is I brought it in, I gave it to Renee, and I said, just put this ring down. Let's see if they notice the difference in the ring that is the real or the one they're going to give away.
I didn't notice. I mean, now I notice it's the replica is just a little bit bigger.
And it doesn't have Augustine on it.
And it doesn't have Augustine. That's a good point. Or 46. It just, where Augustine is, it has Brewers.
Yeah, it's to be a part of that ball club and to go through what we did in '82. And you guys have talked about the final game in Baltimore that was so special. The fans were going crazy, and Palmer and everything. We had the opportunity to talk to him today, so pretty special day.
So base hit by Jonathan Scope, and the Orioles have 2 on now with nobody out in the 7th inning. Yeah, that was a lot of fun before the game today, and having to go through Jim Palmer and the Baltimore Orioles on the last day of the regular season in 1982. Very cool, Augie. Thanks for sending this up here.
It was fun. I just thought it was a good thing, and even today, having the opportunity to sit there and talk with Jim Palmer. I remember the day we went into Baltimore. We had to win 1 out of 4 games in Baltimore, and ended up Baltimore won the first 3, and it came down to a pretty special day and a lot of special plays, and Robin hitting the 2 home runs. So it was a neat day, and I'll tell you what, one that will live on in a lot of great memories of Brewer fans and all those 82 guys for a long time.
All those 82 guys, including Augie, coming back this year for the 35th anniversary as well. Always a pleasure to go down memory lane with Augie.
Yeah.
And I love this ring. You don't get a chance to.
Yeah. Make sure he gets it back now.
Yeah, that's a lot of responsibility.
It doesn't fit me.
You know what? I didn't notice. Did you notice it was Augie's ring?
I didn't even see the ring
in the first place.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we keep the heavy hardware away from you for obvious reasons.
You know the thing about that last game of that '82 regular season, that makes our job really great is that last road trip we talked to Don Sutton about that game.
That's right.
Starting pitcher for the Brewers, and we get a chance to talk to Jim Palmer last couple of days about that game. That's just great. He's just lucky.
2 Hall of Famers that pitched against each other that last day. Well, suddenly a key moment here for Jimmy Nelson. Brewers have a 5-run lead. Nelson working on a 5-hit shutout, but back-to-back hits to start this inning. And he's got the dangerous Jones at the plate, who gets jammed, and a little flare. Thames is on the run. Thames near the railing, and that'll fall safely.
Yeah, would have been
foul territory.
Would have been a very tough play right there. Would have been a great play, but very difficult. You know, tough angle for him. No chance for VR. He's shaded up the middle. Tough angle. You know, worried about the barrier over there, and not able to come up with it.
Jones with 13 homers. He is another one of those Oriole hitters who has thrived with runners in scoring position this year. He's 9th in the major leagues in that category, hitting .377. On the ground, chance for 2. Shaw's got it, steps on the bag, sets his feet, now throws it away. Santana will field the ball. That'll keep Scope at third. Not sure what went wrong there.
Right. Interesting way that Thames went after that baseball. And I guess if the throw is off the mark, you come off the bag and make sure runners can't advance. It's going to be an error on somebody.
Put out at third base is 5 unassisted.
A little hesitation by Shaw. I think he was thinking about going to second base right here and then decided not to. Doesn't seem like it's that bad a throw. The ball goes into foul ground. This is where it goes awry, where Shaw thinks about going to second base. I think the throw to first fools Thames. He didn't think he was going to get the throw.
Instead of a 5-3 double play, Brewers do get 1 out at third base. It's going to be an error to advance the 2 runners, the E5. And now here is Joey Rickard batting for the first time. This is Trumbo's spot in the batting order. Can't imagine Trumbo being taken out just for a double switch. Had to be something health related. He did foul a pitch off his foot in his previous at bat that had him hobbling a little bit. Oh, and that caught a piece of vote. Foul ball.
He likes to walk him off.
Yeah, you're right. He doesn't go down in a heap. He just starts walking around.
See where it gets him.
Oy. Right in the calf.
Could have been worse. A little padding there, but not much.
Give me the ball.
Give me the ball. I'm okay. I don't need any time.
Everybody go back to where you were.
Get going.
Nothing to see here. 1-1 to Joey Rickard. Ooh, just missed. That error by Shaw, as it is officially scored now, is his first error since April 26th. He had gone a span of 52 games without an error. And probably a play that Thames would tell you he should have made.
It was a footwork issue for Eric.
Another close one, but it's 3-1 now.
That's just a perfect pitch by Jimmy Nelson, a pitcher's pitch, and you can't blame, you know, Rickard for not swinging at it, and it's just off the outside corner.
Hitters count, second and third, and a swing and a miss. He threw him a fastball. Rickard had an awkward swing at it, tied him up a little bit, huh?
Yep, 94, a little bit of movement going in on his hands.
That one started boring in on him. Ate him up. Full count, 1 away. Into center field, Broxton coming in. Broxton can't make the play. Throwing to the plate now, and in is Scope. Had an awkward slide. Made that closer than it probably should have been for the Orioles, but a run is in on a base hit by Joey Rickard, and it's 5-1 now.
Yeah, didn't hit it hard. He got jammed. Another fastball. This one getting a lot of the play. You see where he hits it. Got on the handle, and Broxton not able to get there, and almost got it out at home plate. It's kind of a risky throw. If you don't make a good throw into home plate, Rickard can get into second base, and he becomes another man in scoring position.
First run of the game And a visit to the mound by pitching coach Derek Johnson. Pitch count's in great shape for Nelson. He's only at 77.
And just now activity in that Brewers bullpen just started.
Brewers are fully loaded today. They've got Barnes and Knebel both with multiple days off and ready to go. And you could see Barnes and Knebel sharing the last 2 innings plus if need be. Here comes Trey Mancini. First and third with 1 out. This is the best hitter in the American League with runners in scoring position this year. Mancini's hitting .413 with runners in scoring position. Second in all of baseball. And tops in the American League.
And not trying to do too much. Hit the ball where it's pitched. Nelson needs a ground ball here.
Orioles with 3 of the top 5 in the AL. Jimmy got him to chase that one. That power sinker down and in, and it's 0-2. Vogt steps out. Sets up the defensive strategy for the Brewers. Brewers will try to turn a double play on a ground ball. They'll run the risk of a run scoring. And in the dirt. Good block by Vogt. Boy, what a play.
Yeah, able to square himself up. The way he throws that right shoulder around to keep it in front. You don't do that. It's just going to carry him off his chest protector and over by the Brewers dugout. Check it out. Watch the right shoulder come around. And he keeps it close.
Textbook.
That's a nice job.
Saves a run. That's for a catcher. That's just like hitting a home run.
Yep, RBI.
And he's already hit a 2-run home run today. Keeps him at the corners. 1 away in the inning. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Mancini strikes out. Nelson with a punch out on a power slider.
And pitch up in the zone. That's not where he wanted it, I don't think. Normally you want that slider down and away. Right at the top of the strike zone. Yeah, the breaking ball. And Mancini right underneath it.
90-mile-an-hour slider up in the zone. That is the first strikeout since the 4th inning for Nelson. He now has 7 in the game. And he is an out away from getting through 7. Caleb Joseph at the plate. In there, strike 1. Same breaking ball. No balls and a strike. Joseph has struck out and lined into a double play. Runner goes. Vogt's throw to second base. Not in time. That'll be a stolen base for Rickard. Second and third now for Baltimore. Suddenly a base hit could turn this into a 2-run game.
Yeah, pretty good throw by Vogt. Yeah, big lead, big jump.
5th stolen base for Rickard. Second and third. And the 1-1 pitch. This is inside. He got a base open at first. Joseph, a much more accomplished hitter than the man on deck, Paul Janisch. See how aggressive Nelson will be here. Went right after him.
Yeah, you don't want to be putting men on base. I mean, that would put the tying run to the plate. You got to go right after this guy.
Perhaps did afford him the chance to throw a 2-1 slider, though, and he gets the foul ball. 2-2. Crowd's ready to roar. They want to see Nelson get out of this inning. Two on, 2 out. The 2-2 pitch is fouled away. Joseph was way behind that fastball, but able to foul it off.
And a good pitch to hit.
That's Adam Jones over at third, reaching on a fielder's choice. Rickard had the RBI single and then a steal. Do it again. 2-2 the count. 2 outs. And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Jimmy Nelson fired up on his way to the dugout. Strikeout number 8. The Orioles strand a pair. They get 1, and it's 5-1 Brewers. Time now for Miller Park's presentation of God Bless America on this 4th of July. Enjoy, everybody.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
A great start. I mean, he had a good month of June, and first July start, not bad either. He's locating everything, elevating the fastball to get a lot of strikes, and early in the count, down the zone, on the corners, he has not worked a whole lot in the strike zone, especially when he's been ahead in the count. The slider's been good, the curveball's been outstanding. He just continues to impress. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, no earned runs for Jimmy Nelson. And the most impressive thing, no walks again.
And how about Eric Sogard pinch hitting for Jimmy Nelson? Leads off with a single to right field. And nursing an ankle injury. Not serious, but not in the starting lineup today because of it. And Sogard delivers a single to right field to start the 7th inning. Back to the top of the order in Jonathan Villar. 5-1 Brewers. Orioles had a chance. They had a real chance last inning.
And Jimmy's striking out the last 2 hitters to keep it to just 1 run.
And I think Sogard's going to be lifted for a pinch runner. Brent Suter is going to run here wearing Sogard's helmet.
He didn't have a helmet on. He just ran out there, no helmet.
So Suter will pinch run for Sogard. Counsell not wanting to waste a position player, and he's going to throw the Raptor on him for a little base running prowess. I think he needs a new helmet ASAP. The helmet he used yesterday was just fine. It's probably tucked away in his locker somewhere.
Got to hit with it.
Look at Suter coming out here. Sogard is the most surprised person in the building.
This is the big leagues. We have more helmets.
That's great. I guess it makes sense of all the players available, non-position players available. Yesterday's starting pitcher would be the first candidate to pinch run.
Right.
The helmet has given him all kinds of trouble, though. It's really squeezing off a lot of the blood flow in the brain.
I know how that feels. They're going to give him a new helmet now.
He finally got his own helmet. Watch this fit. Oh, yeah, that's nice. That's a much better. Yes, that's better. Took him 3 pitches to get the proper helmet. That's the big leagues for you right there. I'm sure that's the last thing on anybody's mind other than Craig Counsell is that Brent Suter's going to pinch run. He does have spikes on, doesn't he?
I don't think that they waited to tell Suter. You know,
no, right. He's got to get warmed up.
Yeah, he's got to get ready. He's got to get a helmet. He did everything. I think he got warmed up. They told him to get his cleats on last half inning.
He just forgot his helmet, is what you're saying.
Forgot the helmet, yeah.
Little slow roller. Go to second for the out and safe off the bag. Giannis off the bag at second base. And the Raptor, Brent Suter, slides in there safely. Orioles will certainly take a look at this.
Yep, they're looking at it. Buck Showalter not too happy. His defense has not been all that great in this series, although they have not committed an error.
Showalter asked for a review here. He will issue a challenge. Right now it's scored as a fielder's choice and an error on the pitcher.
Well, he dragged the toe across the top of the bag. This question is, does he have it in the glove? Let's see. This will be a good angle. Ball in glove right there. I think he's dragging the toe.
Second base umpire is Eric Cooper. This might be the best look here. It's right there. Man, I mean,
no, it's hard to tell.
It is tough to tell. The call on the field is safe, so is there enough to overturn that?
The shot we had before that last one we just saw looked like he had the toe on the bag, but that last one you really don't know.
Buck Showalter giving the replay a look on the big board, as the 2 umpires are as well. Gary Cederstrom will be the one to relay the call from the replay review center in New York. And there's a quick decision, and the call is out. Suter is retired, and his pinch running appearance was short-lived. Can't really argue either way.
No.
Putout goes 1-6.
That right here is the one that I think kind of, you might think he has that toe dragging on the top of the bag.
Now runner at first is VR. Now Eric Thames. Thames homered in the 5th. Number 22 of the season. We have yet to hit the All-Star break. This is game number 86 of the season. Runner goes. VR throw to second. VR is out. He's already called out. VR takes off running.
Doesn't matter. I mean, once the call is made out, I mean, you can't go to review and say safe and then he's out going to third.
So if they go to a challenge here and he is ruled safe, then they'll place him at second, right?
Well, I don't know, because he overslid the bag.
And then he kept running, so we'll see.
Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind.
This could get tricky.
I'm not sure why he got up and started to run again.
Well, nobody was at third base. That was Machado who was covering the bag.
I don't think there's a tag right here. He's got the hand in there. Of course, the hand, I think, gets the foot. That's where, you know, that Keon Broxton foot first slide is going to, you know, make a difference. And right here, Machado's got the foot right in front of the bag. I think, not sure if VR touches it.
And then he swaps hands to still make him a live runner. But after all of that, the Brewers will not challenge, and VR is out trying to steal. Caught stealing. Crazy couple of plays here, huh? At second base.
No kidding.
So now Thames is up there in a 2-0 count. Make it 2-1 now.
Eric Cooper's thing. I thought second base was an off day.
What's the easiest base to umpire?
Well,
third base?
umpires would tell you there isn't an easy one, but I would think the hardest is home. The second hardest is first.
Hitters count for Eric Thames. That one's hammered right center field, and it's going to be gone. A home run for Thames. Second of the game. Number 23. 6-1 Brewers as Thames goes deep again.
Well, he gets them in bunches.
Eric Thames now one off the National League lead. I'm a little surprised Major League Baseball didn't even inquire about Thames in the home run derby.
Yeah,
I mean, has that
I don't know.
been made official yet? And that's a guy you want in the home run derby right there. His third multi-homer game of the season. 2 for 3 with 2 bombs, and that ball had a lot of heat behind it.
Yeah, fastball out over the plate, just very similar to the one he hit before. And a line drive bullet into that Orioles bullpen. That was our Badger Mutual Insurance run of the game.
Thames gets the run back that the Brewers allowed in the 7th. Makes it a 5-run game again. 6-1 Milwaukee. And the Brewers doing what they do best. Hit the long ball. Isn't it interesting that yesterday the Brewers scored 8 runs without benefit of a home run, which is extremely rare. First time all year that's happened. Today they've got 6 runs on the board on 4 homers. Only run produced that wasn't a home run was Arcia's RBI single in the 2nd inning. A swing and a miss. Santana strikes out, and the inning is over. But the Brewers add to their lead. Eric Thames back in the big leagues for round 2 after 3 years in Korea. And the Big Bopper is doing the same thing here in the big leagues. Orioles on 4th of July. And on this Independence Day, USAA honors those who have served and all of our service members at home and abroad. What a beautiful day for baseball. And the Brewers, who won yesterday 8-1, have a 6-1 lead today. Jacob Barnes, who was loosening up last inning, will enter the game here. Even though the Brewers are up 5, might as well bring him in now that he's gotten loose. And Barnes will face Paul Janisch to start the inning.
Yeah, looked good on Friday against the Marlins. Tossed a perfect 8th inning, a couple of strikeouts. Hasn't pitched much as of late. Had some time off. Was it 7 days he had off? Before his appearance on Friday.
We asked Lee Tunnell about that, the bullpen coach. And he said, yes, he hasn't pitched in a game, but he was up 3 different occasions and fully ready to come in, or as Lee says, in full froth. He was ready to enter the game and did not enter the game. So they count all those pitches. And even though there's not that extra step of the game adrenaline, he had thrown enough in their mind to go ahead and shut him down for a few days, which they've done. The Brewers have kept on winning, and Craig Counsell and company have done a great job managing a bullpen that was a little beat up and has been a little beat up at times. But Counsell and Derek Johnson and Lee Tunnell, the pitching coach and bullpen coach, have been very strict with their pitch counts and pitch limits for their young relievers, Knebel and Barnes. Fly ball to right. Janisch right to Santana. Easy play for him and 1 away.
Well, today's time of the game winner, the Vault Pub and Eatery in Rockland. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. Rockland, Wisconsin. That's just northeast of La Crosse.
I see. Say hey to all of our friends in Rockland. Second plate appearance for Hyun-Soo Kim. Kim had a pinch hit appearance. Flied out to right field. That was in the 6th inning. Stayed in the game. And now batting for the 2nd time.
Nothing wrong with that heater right there. 96.
Kim played in the KBO. He would certainly have run across Eric Thames in the Korean baseball organization. Kim played for Doosan in the KBO. Thames was with the NC Dinos in Korea. Last year was Kim's first year in the major leagues. This is year number 2. These would have been 2 of the best home run hitters in the KBO for 2015. That year, 2015. Thames and Kim. Did he go? They'll ask. Yes, he did. A swing, says Gary Cederstrom. And a strikeout for Jacob Barnes for the 2nd out.
That very matter-of-factly for Gary Cederstrom down there. Fastball, and according to the third base umpire, did not hold up. This will be the look. Pretty close. Ring him up.
Says the catcher. Looking out for his pitcher always.
And the home team.
Craig Gentry pinch hitting for Baltimore.
I'll tell you, we do a lot of analyzing of the strike zones. When we're up here, we watch the Fox tracks. I think that Gabe Morales has had a very good strike zone today. He hadn't missed many, according to our technology. Just want to throw that out there.
He's using the human eye. We have technology to see how good he is.
Right, and he's been very good.
He's getting high marks from Bill Schroeder.
Well,
and he's got a great mask. If for no other reason.
you just got to give kudos when they're deserved. It's been he's been right on. Close pitches have been proven to be off the plate. Good job so far.
That one's in there for a strike. Right down the middle. Buckled the knees of Gentry. That's why you're the people's analyst, though, Rock. You present both sides.
Guy's done a good job.
Been teaching us baseball all these years. Right back to the box. And Barnes will make the play to end the inning. To the bottom of the 8th we go. It is 6-1 Milwaukee.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light beer. And by USAA Insurance, banking and investments tailored for the military community. What a 4th of July it has been here at Miller Park. Craig Kashan back on board with you here at Miller Park. Bernie looking pretty good right there. So's this ball game. Couple of home runs from Eric Thames. He's providing our early evening fireworks here at Miller Park. And Jimmy Nelson, what a job he has done on the mound. We'll talk about those two guys. Hope to hear from them both. Also, Craig Counsell on the way as we get set for Brewers Live, presented by Ascension. How about Jimmy Nelson, guys? This was his 9th game of at least 8 strikeouts this season. His 75 starts prior to this season, he only had 7. So this guy's really turning it up a notch or two, and at a very good time too, without Chase Anderson and Junior Guerra struggling a little bit after his last couple of starts as well. So this is all a good sign right now for Jimmy Nelson.
Yeah, Jimmy Nelson with 8 or more strikeouts in each of his last 4 starts. Miguel Castro will pitch for the Orioles as we play in the bottom of the 8th inning. 6-1 Milwaukee.
He just got called up from Double-A. He was in Double-A Bowie. Got called up at the end of June. He went 3-0 down there as a starter. So from Double-A to Baltimore. Not bad.
Take that jump. Orioles are desperate for starting pitching. And in the meantime, trying to bolster their bullpen a little bit. Their closer, Zach Britton, who was virtually unhittable last year, is soon to be coming back from the disabled list. He is eligible tomorrow. He'll be returning from the 60-day DL. And by all accounts, he will be activated for tomorrow's game. Not sure if he's going to go into the closer's role or not. But that will help the Orioles. But their issues with their starting pitching has them under 500 right now. 40-42 to start play today. They're 7.5 back of the Red Sox in the American League East. They've scored 2 runs in this series thus far. Shaw hammers that one into left center field. On the run is Jones, and he's got it right at the end of his glove. Able to pull that one in to take a hit away from Shaw. A slicing line drive into left center field, run down by Adam Jones.
Yeah, look, it was going to be a much easier catch for Jones when it left the bat. The ball kept slicing further and further away, and look at Jones. I think he was surprised about how much it moved on him, and right in the webbing, able to haul it in and fully stretched out, and he got the out.
A 4-time Gold Glove Award winner, Adam Jones. Last was won in 2014. And an All-Star 5 years. Perez chases one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hernan with 10 homers on the season. Fires another breaking ball in there, and it's 1-2. Thames with 2 today, now has 23 for the season on the Powerball home run leaderboard. There you see Perez with 10. Shaw's hit number 18 today. And a strikeout. Castro takes care of Perez. Out number 2.
Well, get live broadcasts, scoring updates, breaking news, and more right at your fingertips with MLB.com At Bat, the official app of the Brewers. Download At Bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet.
Nice hand for Stephen Vogt on his way to the plate. His 2-run home run in the 2nd inning started the scoring for the Brewers this afternoon. In the air to left center. And Kim's got it to end the inning. And here we go to the 9th. Brewers are 3 outs away from back-to-back wins against the Orioles. Torres coming in. Brewers have gone long ball today. 4 homers in the game, 2 by Thames. And this Brewers telecast on Fox Sports Wisconsin presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. 6-1 Milwaukee as we go to the 9th inning. And the Brewers are 3 outs away from taking the first 2 in this series. Brewers took 2 out of 3 from the Marlins to start this homestand. Carlos Torres is on the pitch. So Barnes works a scoreless 8th. And now Torres will have the 9th, and Craig Counsell's hoping he's the last pitcher used today.
He's got 5 runs to work with. He last pitched on Sunday, inning in the 3rd, 3 hits, gave up a run.
First ball swinging, Manny Machado, and Arcia takes care of him. 1 pitch, 1 out for Carlos Torres. Now to bring up Jonathan Schoop, who singled and scored in the 7th inning. The lone Baltimore run. Brewers have been able to hold Schoop and Machado and Jones relatively quiet in this series. It helps when you're scoring a lot of runs, puts a lot of pressure on the opponent's offense. Two and 0 is the count, and Schoop takes a ball high. 3-0 now.
Yeah, but the Brewers have been doing a good job pitching with the lead. Of course, you say that now. Torres is got a 3-0 count to Schoop, but they're working ahead in the count. They're being aggressive with fastballs early, and that's what you have to do when you pitch with a lead. Don't get behind the count. Keep them guessing a little bit up the plate, and no walks.
Jimmy Nelson was terrific today. 7 innings, no earned runs. Schoop turns that one around deep left center. Broxton is back nearing the wall, and that's gone for a home run. The all-star Jonathan Schoop with number 17. And it is 6-2 Milwaukee. Schoop with his 2nd hit.
And that's when you want to give him up. Nobody on, big lead in the 9th inning.
Schoop has scored both of the Baltimore runs today.
Yep, 3-1 pitch, a cutter from Torres that really didn't do much up in the zone, and Schoop waiting for it. Knocks it out of here.
Schoop is on his way to a career high for homers, which he established last year. In his 4th year in the big leagues, he had 25 home runs last year as a second baseman. Drove in 82. Played in all 162 games last year, did Schoop. And he's already hit 17 in 81 games this year.
And that, you know, playing every game, I mean, nothing will give you more credibility in the clubhouse than doing that. To be considered a gamer amongst your peers, nothing better.
Of course, every consecutive game streak in Baltimore looks nothing compared to Cal Ripken. Base hit by Adam Jones. He defies the shift. And a single with 1 out here in the 9th. We're back at it tomorrow night. Back under the lights of Miller Park. Miller Lite, what's on tap? It is Jason Aquino who will be the spot starter for Chris Tillman, who's on paternity leave for the Orioles. Aquino coming up from AAA Norfolk. Been pitching well down there. 12 starts in the minor leagues. And then Matt Garza will get the ball for the Brew Crew tomorrow.
And Garza 2 runs, 5 innings against the Marlins last time out. No decision.
Well, Knebel is starting to get loose in case the tying run should move on deck, which would make it a save situation. It's a 4-run lead right now with a runner at first.
And that means 1 more base runner.
Joey Rickard will bat with 1 out. Shows bunt, takes a strike. Rickard singled and drove in a run in the 7th. That was Nelson's last inning, but Jimmy, after giving up that base hit, struck out the next 2 hitters to get out of the 7th inning. Orioles were looking at a big inning perhaps. They had a run in, they had 2 on. Matter of fact, it was 2nd and 3rd with 1 out and a run in. And then Nelson got Mancini and Joseph on strikeouts to end the inning. And Nelson finished with 8 punch-outs, no walks, and the run was unearned. Foul tip right into the middle vote, and a strikeout for Torres.
And put a little extra break on that one. That was more the breaking ball. It's been a good pitch against the Orioles the first 2 games of this series. The big slider. And more the curveball slider for Torres.
Orioles down to their last out here in game 2. Trey Mancini at the plate. Brewers Live coming your way as soon as we're done here. Craig Deshawn will be joined by Rock. There's a fly ball to center field, hit well. Broxton's on the run at the track. Broxton makes the catch. And the ball game is over. The Brewers win again. Their 4th win on the homestand. A 6-2 final. And Jimmy Nelson picks up his 7th win of the year. He's 7-2 now, making 7-4 with a 3.20 ERA.
I'll tell you, the starting rotation for the Brewers continues to be solid. Jimmy Nelson really stepping up. And another good victory for the Brewers. Looking for a sweep tomorrow.
Cubs have lost today. They lost to Tampa Bay. Brewers are up 3.5 games in the National League Central. Time for Brewers Live. Let's check in with Craig Deshawn. He is standing by. Take it away, Craig.
That guy Eric Thames, one of the heroes, 2 home runs in this game. Jerry Augustine's going to catch up with him. We're going to hear from the rest of the crew and Craig Counsell as well. Get you set for your 4th of July fireworks coming up next with Brewers Live, presented by Ascension.